Okay, we're here. We're live. We're back. Let's see. Eh. Yep, there you go. I am not setting goals for the. No, bro. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You're crazy. Engage with your audience. Show your support. Whatever, man. Sure, I don't care. Lit. Alright, well. Seems like everything's working. Everything's good. So, let's, yeah, let's just get to it, right? So, how's it going, everybody? Oh, I forgot. I gotta unmute this. I hope y'all are doing well. Back with some more Ace Attorney. You know, we last time we finished case 1, so now we're just picking up where we left off, continuing with case 2. So it's gonna be something calm, something light, you know. As for the Ace Attorney 1 video, it's been going good. Have about like 13.5 minutes with the footage for it. Almost done with the script in terms of like revising it. So all I need to do is just revise these last 3 sections and then we're good. Which I hopefully should be done next week. Maybe a little bit into the week after that, but it'll be uploaded in April, that's for sure. But yeah, if you guys didn't see, I have memberships on the channel now. I don't know if tax is included, I hope not, but it's $2 a month. Now I'm not begging here, I'm not trying to give off that impression, I'm just letting you guys know that if you do want to support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. But also, yeah, I'm not really offering much, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a Discord, I don't have like any like exclusive videos on the channel, because I'm not gonna private any of the videos to members. That just doesn't seem fair to me. Not in the sense of like rewarding the people who pay, because that's weird to me, you know. Like, I like making content because I like making it, you know. Well, I do want to make money from this. I don't want to make money from it like that. So my videos hopefully should stay free as long as nothing like changes or anything like that. But yeah, no, if you do want to do that, if you're interested in that, it's there. But yeah, anyways, without further ado, let's keep going. There might be a cutscene actually, let me stop talking. Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro.
It was a ghastly tale of a winter's night. One of an invisible killer and a crime perpetrated on the pavement along Briar Road. As the victim lay at death's door, the mystery of just who had stabbed the young lady from behind had been resolved. But no sooner had my friend saved that Eastern Exchange student from his harrowing plight, than in the dim, flickering shadows of gaslight did a second bizarre crime rend the stillness of that very night. I dare say most can still recall the sensational headlines of the day. Haunted apartment of death, the condemned criminal's curse, the dread demon of coal gas. Yet, though the great detective had at once discerned the truth upon his arrival at the scene, it only proved to be the overture that announced the rising of the curtain on a most tragic play.
There you go. Cool. London. Amazing. But yeah, no, what I was gonna say actually. So I usually have background like videos on my TV when I'm streaming. or just in general. It makes the room feel alive. I heard on the radio when I was at work actually, how apparently people turn on the TV even if they're not watching it to have just ambience so the room feels livelier, which is true because I do that. But you know, I don't have the sound on. I don't need it. Oh, actually, I'd prefer it. I prefer not to have the sound on. But what's it called? Sometimes when I run out of videos on my feed to watch, I put on a stream that, like one of my streams. And I know it sounds like arrogant, but it's nice background for me. And it reminds me of the games that I play. And right now, it's funny enough, I had the Ace Attorney streams on the background, and then since I haven't uploaded a new stream recently, I ran out of those, so I switched over to Steins Gate, and just going through that game again is so fun, and I can't wait for the new one to come out. I am hesitant, because, you know, I'm not liking the way the visual design looks in this one, but then again, like, it's a new game. It's been well over like 16 years, maybe even 17 now actually, so things are bound to change. So I'm going into it with an open mind. I am going to play it, especially on stream, but I'm excited just to go through that story again, and trust that we'll be making a video on that too. Anyways, let's do it. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a fledgling lawyer, just starting out on my journey. 6 months ago, I arrived as a visiting student of law, having made the long voyage across the sea from the Empire of Japan to here, London, England. And on the way, in quite extraordinary circumstances, I made the acquaintance of a world-famous detective. The humble abode. It's almost like I haven't seen you in like a month. Currently, I reside in the attic of a detective's own lodgings from where I run my legal consultancy of sorts. I successfully defended a number of clients in Britain's highest court, the Old Bailey. But since a particularly grueling and unforgettable legal battle 4 months ago now, I haven't returned to the courtroom. In truth, I lost my right to return. But the epic trial was just one small part of an epic tale, a tale which was now about to awaken from slumber, thanks to the letter that arrived this morning from my homeland. Susato Mikatoba. Oh, whoa. History. Okay, yeah. A delicious smell wafting up the stairs. Maybe nearly time for breakfast. Better go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite and say good morning to the great detective and his flatmate. Oh. Well, yeah, they just skip. 30th of August, 7:28 a.m. Sholmes' suite. Ah, Runo, good. I was just about to call up to you. The bacon's ready. Good morning, Iris. Smells delicious as usual. Before we eat, though, I have some news. Had a surprise this morning. Shh! Not another word, Mr. Naruhodo. This could be just the abstruse thing from our pre-breakfast stagnation, repelling mental stimulation, my dear fellow. Morning to you too, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, I see. So that's it. The truth is as clear to me as day. My faculties of observation have revealed it again. What are you talking about? You, Mr. Naruhodo, you have, this very morning, met with a surprise. Well, is it not the case? Really, my dear fellow, it barely warrants explanation. Firstly, your hair is particularly unkempt, somewhat reminiscent of a bird's nest. Secondly, you have neglected to fasten the third button of your jacket. Clearly, when considered together, these two facts point to you having been flustered this morning. Can I talk now? But of course, I don't look for admiration, you understand. My hair always looks like this. It's been this way since I first met you. Oh, it has. And the button was ripped off last night, if you remember. By you. Hardly pulled off your button. Ah, yes, I recall the incident now. It was after supper, was it not? As the evening advanced, I picked up my violin and began to play the wailing notes of a haunting tune. But then, to my utter dismay, the third string snapped. Why did it have to happen? Why? Little wonder then, that in my vexation I grabbed the first button I saw and ripped it off from its proper place. Well, I'd like it back now, please. It's troubling me that I can't fasten my jacket. It's troubling me that you expect me to know where it is. Somewhere thereabouts on the floor, one presumes. Helpful. Just always helpful. What matters at the present time, my dear fellow, is simply whether or not my deduction was unerring. But Hurley, Reno said it when he came in, didn't he? I had a surprise this morning. Well, that really is a surprise. Yes, this man is the pride of the British Empire, the famous consulting detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. There can't be a single person in the world who doesn't know his name. Alright then, enough of this silly conversation. Come and eat this bacon before it gets cold. And I have a new herbal tea for you to try too. My latest special blend. And here we have Iris Wilson, Mr. Sholmes' lodger and companion. A truly exceptional young girl, who's the author of a highly successful serialization here in London. Yes, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, as published in Rand's magazine. So, oh, excuse me, wow. So, Mr. Naruhodo, would you put us out of our misery? What surprised you this fine morning? Well, I received a letter from Japan. Oh, from Susie, you mean? Was it really? That's right. She has some rather startling news, in fact. Ah, intriguing indeed. You must tell us about it, all about it over breakfast. Oh yes, what fun! Back at it. Back at it. And I guess to this time of year, Londoners seem to leave their hearths alight all day long, and I love it. There's something very relaxing about watching the flames flit and dance about. But a fireplace in days of summertime is a waste of space. Really, no use at all. Rather like a great detective in days of no crimes and no criminals, Harley? But consider this. Instead of a fireplace, a frost place. That's my latest idea. An extraordinary hearth from which emanates a cool breeze in the hot summer months. What do you think? I think if you've invented such a thing, your name will go down in history. The principle is extremely simple. One must, of course, light a cold fire in the hearth. Yes. Yes, of course. Brilliant. The trouble is, then the fires I build never burn cold. How it taunts me. So, as you British say, it's a bit of a damp squib. Ah yes, the huge metal chest with the lace cloth laid on it, being used as a table for tea and coffee. It's very sturdy, that's for sure, and firmly locked shut. Actually, this contains my father's detailed records of Hurley's many cases. Yes, so I've been led to believe, but personally, I never actually seen inside. And that's the way it will stay. Those papers are a secret between Daddy and me. If you go opening it uninvited, you might find yourself being bitten. What? Is there a beast inside there or something? Naruhodo. She really used the mouse for stuff like this. Books, papers, scientific implements. These shelves are stuffed to the gunnels. Mrs. Ito wouldn't be able to help herself if she were here. She can't stand mess. Susie might not be able to stand mess, but she wouldn't dare touch those shelves. Oh? Why not? Everything's in intricate balance. Ellie spends ages on it. If you were to touch even one thing, the whole lot would come tumbling down. Naruto. Says he noticed there was a very delicate arrangement right from the outset. Making it sound like it was a meeting of great minds. But the truth is, Mr. Sholmes just needs to tidy up. He's lazy and a bum. There you go. Naruhodo. These are different pieces of evidence from cases you solved, aren't they, Mr. Sholmes? Not quite, Mr. Naruhodo, not quite. These trinkets are a selection from cases I've solved with particular aplomb. They are souvenirs of my success. Memorize, Mr. Naruhodo. Or excuse me, not memoirs, no, memories. Memories, Mr. Naruhodo. Memories. Really? Now tell me about the case in which the bust of Napoleon featured. I'll forget. Memories, he says. Wonderful, Mr. Sholmes. Wonderful. Truly exceptional. There's so many different bottles up there on that charming little set of white shelves. Oh, do be careful, Rudo. You mustn't try the contents of any of those bottles, even if you're hungry. I wouldn't do something stupid like that. What a child, you know. Well, I wish I could say the same for Hurley. The other day, he polished off a full bottle of one of my alkaloids. He what? He said he was hungry. I'll be extra careful. Naruhodo. Ah, yes. This is where you note down ideas, isn't it, Iris? What's in the melting pot today? The blue carbuncle? Hold on, look at that carbuncle. Carbuncle. Cluster of connected pus-filled boils under the skin, typically caused by... That's disgusting. It looks even worse when you look at the picture. Do not look up what a carbuncle is. Yes, it was from a case of theft that Hurley solved ages ago. A theft of a precious stone. A carbuncle is another name for a garnet, you see. That is not what okay, never mind, I've been misled. A carbuncle is another name for a garnet, you see, especially if it's colored around the top. Oh, really? And this garnet was blue, was it? Well, that's the thing. They're usually red. No blue garnets have ever been discovered. Oh, so who knows what the stolen gemstone actually was? That's the real mystery of the case. A proper Sherlock Holmes conundrum, huh? Naruhodo. I look forward to finding out what aroma your tea will have, Iris. Every single day. Ah, well, I infuse a different concoction of herbs from the garden every time, so it's never the same twice. We call it a concoction. It sounds more like a science experiment than something for tea time. Oh yes, I think its different blends can have very different, properties. So some calm you down, some make you feel jolly, some give you energy. Today's particular blend is something quite special, so you're really in for a treat. That sounds ominous. Naruhodo. I can type with my eyes shut, you know. I can believe it. When a deadline's approaching, you sound like a Gatling gun. That reminds me of a dream I had the other day. It was such a funny one. It woke me, actually. I was typing for a whole hour in pitch black, but I didn't make a single mistake. That's incredible. But then, when it got light, I found that there wasn't any paper in the machine. Now I wonder if I'd actually been typing at all. I think you might have just fallen asleep on a job. It is pretty impressive, I can't lie. Alrighty. Stradivarius. Or I guess the violin, excuse me. Forgot the Stradivarius. Stradivarius is a different thing. Ah yes, Mr. Sholmes' faithful musical companion. Wasn't his violin made by somebody famous? Yes, it's a I was right, never mind, it was a Stradivarius. Though I'm afraid you have to save up for 100 years before you can afford one, Bruno. But didn't you buy it for a song, Mr. Sholmes? I found that at the pawnbrokery among the forfeited articles. It clearly said Stradivarius on the label. What? The ignorant broker had no idea of its true value, you see, so I paid a mere 55 shillings for it. Yes, I have something of a turn for shopping. Herlock Sholmes, bargain hunter. But, is he really a Stradivarius though? But of course, my dear fellow, it said so on the label. I think perhaps the ignorant broker had something of a turn for selling. The Stradivarius. The machine really is imposing, isn't it? But I can never remember its name. Hurley calls it the Great Analytoscope. It can analyze anything at all. Doesn't really help me. Was analyzing something even me? Or hold on, you do this as a job. Ah, an extremely astute question, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry. Well, as Iris said, my machine here spits out analysis results of anything with which you care to present it. But how to interpret those results, that's the key, and I confess I have no idea. Huh. Clearly, I'm going to have to construct a great analytoscope to solve the problem. That might not help. Look at these kooky cast of characters. These kooky cast of characters. Yeah, alrighty. Seems like that's everything. Present. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, about this. Shh! They're under the wood. Ah, yes. I see. This would be a collar. This would be a collar for a breed of miniature canine with a particularly long neck, and for winter use. Actually, it's the armband I always wear that symbolizes my role as a defense lawyer. Precisely, which leads us to but one conclusion. Your arm is, in fact, the particularly long neck of a miniature canine. Son, I wish I never showed him this now. The man's barking mad. Look at this. Suzuto Mikotoba, a judicial assistant sent to Britain on a study tour. She's the epitome of a refined Japanese lady and a huge help to me always. Iris Wilson, an extraordinary young girl who lives with Mr. Sholmes. She has a degree in medicine and is the author of a popular series of short stories published in a prominent magazine. Herlock Sholmes. There's not a person in the world who hasn't heard of this famous great detective, whose deductions never fail to surprise. Alright, let's see. The home and office of the world-famous great detective and his young companion, Iris. It seems people from all over the globe come to engage his consulting detective services. Tell me everything, Bruno. Don't worry, there's plenty to eat for breakfast. My lodgings and office located in the attic above the suite of rooms rented by Mr. Sholmes. I called a consultancy, but clients aren't exactly beating down the door. It's so quiet up in this attic without Susie around, isn't it? 30th of August, Naruhodo's legal consultancy. I gotta investigate. The kettle's gently simmering away there on top of the stove as usual. It was kind of Suzuto to send the Japanese tea. Iris really likes it. But for me, it's the sound of the stove and burbling kettle I like the most on bitter winter or biting winter mornings. Suzuto-san's tea that she left here with me. I still think green tea is just too bitter though. Thank goodness for sugar and milk. Mrs. Sholmes certainly wasn't expecting that acrid taste that one time. Never heard anyone let out a scream like that before, or seen anyone fall down the stairs quite like that either. Always brings a smile to my lips when I'm feeling a little down. The spade, the trouble. Oh, excuse me. The office. The office. The office spade. The office. Trowel. That's what it's called, trowel. There you go. The office spade. Now this is sounds gone. The shovelers aren't represented to correct me. Maybe I have to do it myself. That's not a spade, Naruhodo. That's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel. That's so cute. He misses her so much. Just like how she misses him. Really are just the cutest of little goobers. Now, at first glance, my desk here might look as though it's a mess. However, it's not in a mess at all. Everything is exactly where I want it to be. But whenever Suzuto-san looked at it, she put her hands on her hips and say, "Oh dear." Her way of saying that I should make it a more orderly and neat mess. I miss that. Aww. You really do notice from case 5 up until now how much you miss Suzuto and Naruhodo being together. Because, you know, it's just not the same when they're by themselves. And in reality... hold on. What was, where is it? Okay, yeah, so... Suzuto was there in case 2, but she was pretty antagonistic until, like, halfway through it. But I'll say case 2. She's been here since case 2, all the way up until halfway through case 5. And she was there during the first case, but of course that was without Naruhodo, so... A majority of the game, you do have her there, but there's a decent stretch where she's not there in the first game, and then for this game, they're not together, so... Doesn't count, you know. But yeah, anyways. Ah yes, the Daruma doll I brought with me from Japan. I was decided to call it in the other eye once I become a fully fledged lawyer. But it's still winking at me, like it's trying to say, I can wait. Take as long as you need. Or maybe not. I just have to I'll keep on doing the best I can, I suppose. A Daruma doll with only one eye, a Daruma doll with only one eye filled. The height of arrogance, I suppose. There you go. The photograph of us all together that day. Makes me a little sad to look at it now, which is why I've taken to lying it flat. Mr. Sholmes read it every single time, and I've grown accustomed to it. Hope we'll all be together again like that one day soon. It's so cute. I love... Can I see it again? I really want to see it again. There you go. I love this picture so much, man. I love it so much. It's so cute. There you go. Naruhodo. It's Suzuto-san's desk. Suppose it won't get used now that she's gone back to Japan. Just have to wait here patiently for its old friend to return. I never did see what Suzuto-san's room looks like. Go in now, of course, but I don't dare. They say a young maiden's private chambers is a place of bittersweet secrets. Although from the laughter I used to hear when Iris would visit, I imagine it's mainly sweet. Look at the prawns and the anemones gently swaying around in the tank. Regular cleaning, some food, and fresh seawater is all they need. It's a conversation, of course. Seemed like a lot of effort at first, but it was worth it. Starting to be able to tell what they're thinking. Funny to think that so many people in London had aquariums like this once, when they were in vogue. Never expect to find anemones, there you go, in the middle of the capital. I think I have to name them soon. can't talk, good lord. There you go. Just had to go up here and check because no way I'm missing the spade conversation. Miss Suzuto's letter. Here's the letter that arrived from Japan this morning by international post. Oh, how lovely. Look at Suzuto's beautiful, or Susie's beautiful writing. I wish I could read it. And how is your judicial assistant faring, may I ask? She's very well, thank you. In fact, according to what she's written, she actually appeared as a lawyer at the Japanese Supreme Court and won a case. Oh, really? Oh, isn't she wonderful? Look at above your good self, my dear fellow. One case is two, you know. Apparently, Mr. Natsumi appeared in the trial as a witness. Natsumi. No, I don't recall that name. Of course you do. We helped that man. Twice! You know, in those two cases that took place on Briar Road 6 months ago. Ah, the mustached, twitchy man with the somewhat feline eyes and a mustache. You may have two mustaches, Harley. So, it's interesting because you can tell that they set up this this second case that was gonna happen on Briar Road in the first game, as you'll see. But it just, like, if you don't where is it? Sorry, goodness, I just Victor Wembanyama might have won MVP. It's just it's crazy to think about. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, it seems like it just comes out of nowhere, but there is setup for it. It just, for me, it's a little contentious. It's a little contentious, I'm not gonna lie. It feels like it came out of nowhere, but it didn't. It didn't. There's a lot of thought put into this game and how it works, considering how the first case, in the first game, we never found out Giselle Brett's motive. And in this game, I don't even remember what it was, honestly. I don't even know if they said it. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, we'll find out. We'll hopefully find out. But yeah, a lot of the first game sets up for this game. You'll see how. Yes, who could forget those two cases? They made a very deep impression on me. Although I must confess, the details are a little hazy now. Very deep impression they made on you, clearly. Startling news. So, what was this startling news penned by Miss Suzuto? Do you remember the case of the haunted lodgings, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes, it's very interesting, you know. I feel entirely uncertain that a case of that nature did not occur. He's totally forgotten then. Anyway, in her letter, Miss Suzuto asked that we read over her case notes again and investigate further. Though it took place half a year ago. For what purpose? Because it's something that... Sorry, not the same character. Because it's something that Mr. Natsumi said to her, apparently. He suggested that the real reason why she was called back to Japan so suddenly was poop from a butt. Want you to be mine again, baby. He suggested that the real reason why she was called back to Japan so suddenly had something to do with that case of the haunted lodgings. Oh? On Mr. Natsumi's return to Japan, Miss Suzuto's father questioned him about the case, she says. And something Mr. Natsumi said appeared to trouble Professor Mikotoba, prompting him to send a telegram. Oh, that case, yes! It was very strange, wasn't it? Yes. I had compiled the whole story into a nice neat manuscript ready for publication, too. When I heard Harley here was all funny about it, remember? He was very mean. That story must not be published, he said, very mysteriously as well. Really? I said that? Are you sure? You perhaps know something about it as well, Mr. Sholmes? about why Miss Suzuto was suddenly told 4 months ago that she'd return to Japan. Ooh, I think I've ever heard of this word before. Repatriation. Repatriation is the voluntary return of individuals to their country of origin or their return of cultural artifacts and human remains to their rightful home. I see. Okay, repatriation. Interesting. You know, there's some ball knowledge in this game with the words that they use. It's so cool. This is Suzuto's repatriation. Ooh. It's been 4 months now since we waved Susie off at Dover. It was such a shock, wasn't it? That we just suddenly announced that she had to go back to Japan. How long have I been streaming for? Half an hour, okay. Not too bad. Indeed it was. Due to a telegram she received from her homeland, I believe. That's right. Tell her to return urgently. Yes, because her father had passed away. No. It just said he was suffering from a high fever, the cause of which was unknown. He's not dead. But according to this letter, the news about her father's fever was just a ruse. A ruse? So Susie's daddy lied to her so that she'd make the voyage back home. Why would he do that? I have to admit, I have absolutely no idea. But she believes it's almost certainly related to the case of the haunted lodgings. Summoning her back to Japan so suddenly like that. What Miss Suzuto's father is hiding. Harley, do you know what it's all about? Well, who can say? What? But you said... Please, I have engaged my dear fellow. My calendar is quite surprisingly full today. An astringent analysis of the matter would be excessive, I feel, even if I were quite at leisure. So, man afoot in my absence, won't you, Iris? Oh well, Hurley, don't worry. See you later. He cut it off rather quickly there. I think perhaps Professor Mikotoba isn't the only person hiding something here. Seki-san was involved in 2 cases, but only one of them was forbidden from being published. Well, of all people, Mr. Sholmes. Aha! I found him at last. Iris, are they... The notes about the case? That's right. Susie and I compiled them together. The case of the haunted lodgings. Do you want to read them, Bruno? Absolutely. Thank you, Iris. Oh! The second game's OSTs are bangers. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. There you go. There you go. 12 Angry Chuds. Shout out Urinating Tree. His videos are always fire. I don't know why I haven't subscribed yet. Welcome to San Andreas. I'm CJ from Grove Street. Alright, back to it. I have no idea what secrets could still be hiding in the shadows of this case. But perhaps if I read over the notes again, something might come to light. That's the spirit. And so, Iris and I decided to read over the case notes again together. Everything from what happened to our investigation and that fierce battle in the court that followed. reliving every detail. I just need to find a clue. And I have all the time in the world. Because of course, I'm no longer allowed to practice the law in the courts of Great Britain. Yep. And when you look at that, right? It finally comes to light why he hasn't had a case in a long time. And you can probably assume why. I'm not going to say why, but you can probably assume why if you saw the last case. The case 5, I mean, from the first game. It was 6 months ago, a mysterious incident that unfolded on the wintry streets of London. A young woman was found lying on the snowy pavement of Briar Road with a knife in her back. Fortunately, her life was spared, but she was unconscious for several days following the incident. The fog was thick, and nobody saw her attack her, but by a cruel twist of fate, a visiting Japanese student was walking behind her at the time and was duly arrested. That man was Saseki-san, and the man who affected his arrest was Mr. Sholmes. Believing in our compatriot's innocence, Suzuto-san and I decided to represent Saseki-san in court. And, after a grueling trial and many twists and turns, we finally managed to prove his innocence. Joyful, joyous, jubilant jubilation! Was the man's reaction after the trial, but his jubilant jubilation was short-lived. Oh wow, goodness, excuse me. We received the telegram from Mr. Sholmes the following morning. The victim... Oh. He's on screen, I'll do his voice. The victim of the Briar Road stabbing has regained consciousness. Hurry to Bart's at once. So Suzuto-san and I summoned a hansom and headed immediately to the hospital. And now we go back. Way back. What we do here is go back. Get that rat out of here. Goodness. 5:30 in the morning? I'm sorry, dog. You guys are gonna have to come later, man. It's not it, man. It's not it. 21st of February, 5:30 a.m. St. Bartholomew's Hospital Recovery Ward. There you are at last. Good morning, Mr. Sholmes. I think not. Oh? You're late! What did it take you so long? It's like I'm only arrived at 5 o'clock, Mr. Sholmes. It's a 20-minute ride to the hospital. That's right. It's 5:30 now. I think we made pretty good time. Time is utterly irrelevant. Excuse me. The time is utterly irrelevant. The fact is, I've been waiting for what has felt like an eternity. Sure, whatever, man. In point of fact, I myself was awakened at 4 this morning by a telegram boy. You're feeling as it was somewhat unjust that I alone had been roused at such an hour. I sent one to you. Well, thanks for that, man. I didn't need sleep. I really didn't. Anyway, you're here now, so the victim is over there. He's only just regained consciousness. You should introduce yourselves, and I shall observe from here. So that's the lady who was found in a snowy covered pavement with a knife on her back. Her name is... Ah yes, here we are. Miss Green. The course record! No. Alright. Look, there's a photograph in this frame here. Oh yeah, it's a picture of a young gentleman. This will be about the same age as Miss Green, I would say. Perhaps the young woman's special someone, don't you think? My, Mr. Naruhodo. I know you had a sense for matters of the heart. Not in the least. I sincerely said the first thing that I thought of. This rounded wooden figure isn't the most charming, is it? I don't think that's a decoration, Mr. Naruhodo. It's an artist's mannequin, I believe. Used when practicing sketching the human form in different poses. Really? It's not exactly what you'd call a typical figure for the purpose, though, is it? No, I suppose not. I confess I've never seen one so quite full-figured before. Well, if you want to draw a full-figured person, it's the right tool for the job. This is like the patient's treatment notes. Let's see. Do not feed. What is this place, a zoo? You know, I remember seeing an almost identical sign in our local park. For the pigeons, yes. There's a person. Poor woman. Hope she hasn't read this. Lots of bottles in my cabinet, aren't there? You think it's safe to keep them like that? If you were a patient here, I feel you'd sure take some medicine by mistake when you were half asleep. That is a worry, but at least the cabinet has a lock, even if it's only a flimsy-looking one. I have no doubt you managed to unlock that somehow while you were half asleep as well. There are even limits to what I can do when I'm half asleep, you know, Miss Tsutsuto. Must be a bag of Miss Green's personal belongings. She would have been brought directly here after she was found stabbed on the pavement, though. I expect a friend or family member probably brought some things for her. Alright, then let's see what's inside. Change your clothes, no doubt, and... No, Mr. Naruhodo, you must never scrutinize a young maiden's personal belongings. But a young maiden might have chocolates, or biscuits, or caramel. What? Why do you care? A mouse, Mr. Naruhodo! An enormous mouse! That's a rat. Rabbit in a hospital. That just seemed the best. It looks like a very healthy specimen, doesn't it? It's very plump. Not sure we can say that's down to the excellence of this facility, if that's what you're thinking. He is kind of cute though, I can't lie. A little adorable. So it's like the treatment notes for whoever's occupying this bed. Let's see. Do not permit to run around the hospital. The patient doesn't seem to be here at the moment, so he or she's probably running around the hospital then. Oh dear, how worrying. What's worrying is why they haven't discharged the patient yet. There are all sorts of medicines in this cabinet, look. I'm not sure if it's safe leaving them in reach of everyone like this. Yes, you're right. And imagine if you were peckish, you might try a whole bottle or two. Well, at least there seems to be a little lock to secure the cabinet doors. Then imagine that would stop you if you were hungry, or that you'd break the lock. Hunger doesn't turn me into a criminal, you know, Miss Tsutsuto. Alright. Good morning. Hello, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, for the Empire of Japan. Okay. What voice do I give you? I know you're young. You're like 20-something, but... This is a difficult one. It's a difficult one. Oh no! Was it your knife that... Are you the man who... No, I'm a lawyer. And I'm Tsutsuto Mikotoba. Pleased to meet you. Oh no! What? Was it your knife then? Are you the one? No, I assure you. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. heard that you regained consciousness and wanted to come give you our best wishes. Best wishes? For me? Thank you. I'm Olive. Olive Green. I'm an artist. Well, no, that's not right, is it? What I mean is, I'm trying to be an artist. Well, what I really mean is I desperately want to be an artist. The truth is, I don't have any talent. I know I don't. So I wonder I was stabbed in the back. I don't think that's related, actually. Gosh, this young woman seems to bend over backwards to put herself down. Seeing as we're here, we should ask her about what happened from her perspective, I suppose. About the incident. To suddenly be struck in the back by a blade as you were walking along the pavement. What a terrible experience you had, Miss Green. It was so cold that day, and the fog was so thick, I couldn't see a thing. That was 4 days ago now, I think. Is that right? Yes, that's right. I'm afraid you've been comatose all that time. But the case has been solved, hasn't it? Well, I've been here in the hospital, I mean. Indeed it has, my dear madam. Spectacularly by none other than I, Sherlock Holmes. There you go. Mr. Sholmes, as you well know, it was Mr. Naruhodo's hard-working court that solved the case. Are you yet to hear what happened, Miss Green? Yes, I'm afraid so. A gentlewoman from the police force, gentleman, excuse me, from the police force is supposed to be coming to fill me in shortly. Oh, I see. Me coming round seems to have made everyone practically busy. I'm so sorry. Should never have regained consciousness. It was selfish of me. Oh no! I'm so relieved that you're the one on the mend, Miss Green. Really are. That kind of attitude, maybe her surname should be Blue, not Green. You're horrible for that. By yourself. So, you're an artist, are you, Miss Green? Oh no, could I possibly claim that? I'm a fledgling artist at best. I mean, I'm a student of arts, really, at Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. Oh my, an Academy of Fine Arts? Great Britain is such a wonderful country. Tell me, Miss Green, do you live hereabouts? Oh no, actually. I don't deserve it, but I have a little flat on Brixton Road. I see. How very interesting. Oh no, is it? Brixton is some 10 stops away on the underground from here. The Thorndike Academy is a mere 3-minute walk from Brixton town centre. Does that matter, Mr. Sholmes? Perhaps not, but Briar Road is far less salubrious part of town by comparison, dwelt in by those of inferior means, including the maleficent... Wow. That's a horrible thing to say about him. Including the maleficent Mr. Mustache. Inferior means. Suppose it's like he saw does fit the bill. It struck me as somewhat out of the ordinary for a young fine arts student to be walking in such a district. That's all. What's this? She suddenly clammed up. Mr. Sholmes, you should be ashamed of yourself, prying into a young maiden's private affairs. Oh dear, do forgive me. If you don't mind. I'm being discharged shortly, so I need to pack my things. Oh yes, of course. It won't keep you. Thank you so much, Miss Green. Is there a Mr. Naruhodo here? Mr. Naruhodo? Mr. Naruhodo now. Well, if you're looking for Naruhodo, the lawyer, that's me, but... Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, good. This is for you. It's a message from Mr. Saucy Nutmeg. Huh? Mr. Natsumi sent a message to me? Why would a policeman be delivering a message from Mr. Natsumi? Exactly. What's going on? What's the Scotland Yard constable doing playing delivery boy at this time in the morning? Oh, what are you waiting for? Let me see that. Oh, goodness. Well, this is most unexpected. There's something wrong, Mr. Sholmes. There's something wrong, Mr. Sholmes, he says. Have you not seen this note? No, how could I have? It would seem that London's criminals have no intention of letting the great detective rest. A new case calls. A case of murder, no less. We must depart at once. Murder? Call a cop. Time is of the essence. But the trouble is, we've yet to read Mr. Natsumi's note. I think we ought to pay him a visit in his lodgings once we did. That will be entirely convenient. Convenient? What do you mean? It's all here in a note, my dear fellows. The murder we must investigate took place at Mr. Mustache's lodgings. Wait, what? I hail a fiacre? Fiacre, okay. I hail a fiacre at once. It was only yesterday Sasaki-san was in court. We were dispelling doubts about his innocence. And now, the very next day, there's a murder at the man's own address. It was very well be the unluckiest man alive. Or so it seemed to us at the time. We were soon to discover it was worse than we thought. There you go. 21st of February, 7:18 a.m. Mr. Natsumi's lodgings, ground floor. What on... Huh? Oh my. The gentleman is deceased without question. He's dead. Look, I'm sitting in my Naruhodo Esquire. Mr. Natsumi? Oh, why? Why is this happening? Why to me? I only just got out of court. Yesterday. I was finally home after 2 days of misery. And I wake up the next day to this. An early bird should catch a worm like this. Woeful worm without wiggle. I see you're in high spirits again this morning, Mr. Mustache. Ah, not the horrible Harlock Sholmes. Shoo, shove off. Throw yourself out the door. I never invited you. Mr. Sholmes came here with us. Quite sure he'd be able to help you, Mr. Natsumi. I'm entirely at your disposal, Mr. Mustache. What can I do for you? Here they are already, the busybodies. Ah, Inspector Gregson, what a pleasant surprise. Pleasant, is it? Gives me heartburn every time I see your face at a crime scene, Sholmes. Ah, I deduce, Inspector. Your heartburn is a result of your excessive consumption of fried food. Good morning, Inspector. There's a crime scene, don't you go touching anything. Or, good morning to you too, Sunshine. There you go. Alright. My lodging's an office located in the attic above the suite of rooms rented by Mr. Sholmes. No. The home and office of the world famous great detective and his younger Alright, the hospital bed in Bart's that's occupied by Miss Olive Green, who sustained a serious injury during an incident in Briar Road. The scene of the crime on the ground floor just beneath Mr. Nasumi's room. The brightly colored outfits and makeshift stage look very incongruous. Mr. Shakespeare's room. And Briar Road. Boy, I said hands off. You're gonna mess up my crime scene. I just wanted to look, that's all. No chance. I know you're kind. You'll just mess up by looking at it. Someone's in a bad mood. There's certainly some bad air in here, isn't there? Alright, it sounds like I better talk to the inspector first and try to curry some favor. So, Inspector, what was the victim's name? Who was he? Mr. William Shakespeare. He was a lodger here. As you can probably tell, he was an actor. A bit of a dead loss, as it happens, or just dead. Mr. Shakespeare. It was the landlord, old Mr. Garrett and the other lodger, Mr. Natsumi, who found him. The fellow didn't rise at his usual hours, so Garrett got word and kicked the door down. But does Mr. Garrett have a bad leg? Oh yeah, you're right there. It was a jittery Japanese hunchback over there who actually did the kicking. Really? Soseki-san. The victim was pretty hard up, it seems. He even done some time inside for petty crimes. He had no money, no place to go, and no friends. His only acquaintances were the people in this house. A miserable life and a miserable end to it. So what exactly is Mr. Asumi still doing here? He's not involved in the investigation, so shouldn't you have sent him away from the crime scene? Well, I'm not saying this because the fellow looks odd or anything, but that he acts suspicious. But I thought it would be prudent to take a statement from the cohabitor. You knew it's a culprit there, didn't you? Oh dear. Satsumi appears to be under suspicion again. Certainly seems that way. Does just come across as such an odd fellow, doesn't he? Poor man. How unfortunate. Anyway, I can't say much into the core when it gets here. I don't think the fellow's been gone that long. The body's still warm. Even if the inspector would allow it, I don't think I could bring myself in such a dead body. What a terrible thing to have happened. It's only been 3 days since I was arrested for the incident on the pavement outside. And then, having finally regained my freedom, it starts happening all over again. Endless existence of excruciating experiences! So the victim lived here on the ground floor. A room is just one story up, isn't it? Yes, that's right. In a way, we were neighbors, I suppose. It's been an hour, Yes, that's right. In a way, we were neighbors, I suppose. So did you know the victim? Were you friends? What's the matter with Soseki-san now? It was an innocent enough question, wasn't it? Why does he seem so shaken by it? Well, I suppose he wasn't a complete stranger. But did he ever invite me to his room? Never! On my honor, I swear it. What an extreme reaction. You're probably wishing you never asked now, aren't you, Mr. Naruhodo? We found him here. I felt wretched. We found him here. I felt wretched, which is why I sent word asking you to come. To that inspector over there. I don't even want to ask, honestly. I really don't, but I guess I have to. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Huh! You only need to observe to know it, my dear fellow. Investigating naturally. There's nothing natural about that pose. Mr. Sholmes, have you made some miraculous discovery? Patience, my dear madam, patience. We've not been here in this room. We've not been here in this room 5 minutes. So far, all I've managed to deduce is what actually happened. My goodness. But isn't that everything we need to know, Mr. Sholmes? Now that you propose that idea, I believe one could indeed see it that way. At the present time, I have managed to draw two conclusions, two incontrovertible conclusions. Sorry, I can't speak. The first, that there was a physical struggle here last night in which the victim fought for his life. Mr. Natsumi, what's wrong? Did Mr. Sholmes set significance somehow? No, don't mind me. Forget I was here. And my second conclusion is that there was a poison lingering in the air here last night that passed the victim's lips. Okay. Nonsense! Ah! Alright, Mr. Natsumi, why are you reacting so extremely to Mr. Sholmes' deductions? No, please. Pretend I'm not here. Invisible, ineffable, inscrutable, insignificant. Impossible to ignore. You must tell us everything, Mr. Sholmes. Spare no detail. But of course, let the theatrical tragedy before us be unraveled by my great deductions, presented for your pleasure in 2 acts. There's so much truly astounding great deductions to Mr. Sholmes in the past. No doubt this will be no exception. More miracles will unfold before our eyes this time. So, my dear fellows, for your delight and wonder, let the curtain rise. For Herlock Sholmes, logic and reasoning spectacular. Act 1. Yep. Back at it. Cause of death. Careful observation. The victim reveals to us the events that transpired in this consulate room this consulate, yeah, okay. This consulate room last night. Foam at the mouth of the deceased clearly indicates the use of poison. Next to the victim, we notice a large dining plate, which contains, you will observe, 1/2 of a sizable bar of soap. Meaningful. Indubitably. Why is this soap set so purposely upon the dish? Like the victim's last supper, in fact. Yes. I mean, don't look at me for a second. I'm not the one saying this. Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the photo reveals the answer. It appears the young man's appetite was his undoing. Taking up arms in the form of his cutlery, the victim engaged in a deadly battle for his life. Yet the struggle against his hunger was in vain, for in the end he could not resist devouring the slippery feast. But in this foul soap, is besmirched by foul poison. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the contents of the plate. The soap and the lather about the young man's mouth are too perfectly matched to ignore. The cause of death was clearly intoxication due to the excessive ingestion of foul soap. Though personally, I have greater interest in the taste of foul candlewax, of course. Poisoning from soap ingestion. There you go. Alrighty. The cause of death identified, we proceed to Act 2, where we ponder the next question. Was this suicide or murder? The audience will recall that death occurred during the victim's last supper. Did the man die and die alone? A single teacup suggests the answer. To draw a conclusion on such meager evidence would be foolish, however. Certainly. The careful criminal could have absconded with his own teacup to cover his tracks. Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the broken lock. There you go. Though forced open now, at the time of the incident, this door was locked. And the sole key was in the victim's pocket. In other words, when the victim consumed the poison, he must have been alone. Alone with this inferior soap, from whence wafted an inferior scent. With the acrid aroma lingering in the air, the victim met his end, in tragic solitude. We could take comfort only in the fact that his soul was well cleansed on its way to hereafter. Wow. There you go. Sorry about that, just spaced out a little bit. This includes the fatal act of Sherlock Holmes' great deduction. There's just one thing, Mr. Sholmes. You are disposed to identifying just one thing, aren't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what concerns you? Well, no matter how hungry he was, you really think the man would have eaten soap? It is quite apparent that this man had barely a penny to his name. It is a curious thing, but to one so destitute, soap can certainly appear quite irresistibly appetizing. How extraordinary. In truth, I have tried a little soap myself in the past. You've eaten it, you mean? My dear fellow, it was some time ago now. My postulation was that it would cleanse my guts. And did it. As I arrived in agony on the floor and spilt the contents of my stomach, yes, I believe it did. The experience taught me a valuable lesson. Soap is quite poisonous. It has an unpleasant taste that leads to great discomfort. In summary, I cannot recommend it. Believe me, I wouldn't eat it even if you did. Something that troubles me as well, actually. Oh, what's that? It's Mr. Natsumi. Ah! I couldn't help noticing him shuddering and quivering out of the corner of my eye. Almost as if Mr. Sholmes' deductions touched a nerve somehow. Nonsense. Well, that clenched teeth episode didn't last. I think, judging by Mr. Nasumi's reaction, the great detective's deductions may need some gentle corrections in order to reach the actual truth. Yes, Mr. Sholmes' observations and deductions are sometimes a little too sharp. He has a tendency to hit the nail on the side of the head and drive it into an obtuse angle. When he does that, it falls to us to straighten things out. Alright then, let's see what we can do. Alrighty, let me put my phone down for a second. I don't know if it's because I'm tired or because I'm bored, but we ball. There you go. Alright then, let's see what we can do. Yes, we must pick the key words in Mr. Sholmes' quite brilliant deductions, and discreetly exchange them for something that makes a little more sense. If we can do that, I'm sure we arrive at what Mr. Sholmes meant to say in the first place. In that case, you're ready for the second performance of the day. Once again, my dear fellows, for your continued delight and wonder, let the curtain rise. For Herlock Sholmes, logic and reasoning spectacular. Act 1. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Alright, back at it. Careful observation of the victim reveals to us the events that transpired in this disconsolate room last night. By the way, I realized, I don't know if you remember, but we did see this guy in the first game, just randomly on Briar Road one day. He was there. Foam at the mouth of the deceased clearly indicates the use of poison. Next to the victim, we notice a large dining plate, which contains, you will observe, one half of a sizable bar of soap. Meaningful? Indubitably. Why is this soap set so purposely upon the dish? Like the victim's supper, in fact. Yes. Could it be the man was about to eat? Eat it, of course. The fork reveals the answer. Well, you can't deny that the fork implies the man was eating something, or about to eat something. Yes, it's true. If I were to decide to eat some soap, I should prefer to use a fork than to attempt to eat it with chopsticks. And of course, only half the bar of soap is left on the plate. But might there not be some other explanation? Something material that proves whether or not the man really ate some soap? Teacup. Let's see. You think he was drinking his teacup with his soap? Or drinking tea with his soap? The cup's empty, so there's no way of knowing. Oh, how about this for an idea? Perhaps the cup is full of water. He's dissolving soap in it so he could gulp as much down as possible. Please remember that he may not have actually been the soap lover that he's made out to be. I cannot talk today, wow. suppose you eat soap with a fork, would you? I think it's a question of which implement you'd use. You should eat soap full stop. But then why? Why does this man have a fork in his hand? Oh dear. I understand your frustration, Mr. Naruhodo. Please don't take it out on me. The point is, if we decide the man used his fork to eat the soap, we wouldn't be changing Mr. Sholmes' deduction. So you really ought to consider some other clues. Don't be crashing out on her, man. It's not fair, bro. It's not fair. Look, there's more soap on the floor here. Mr. Shamspear must have really loved that stuff. So I draw the conclusion, Mr. Naruhodo. Look closely at this soap. Do you see that it would fit together perfectly with the half bar on the table? What the? How can that be? I think that they are two halves of the same bar that broke apart.
Take that!
There you go. Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course. The other piece of soap reveals the answer. It being the other half of the soap on the table, in short, the victim was not eating soap at all. But it's obvious, really. The no deaths of hunger could drive any man to attempt to eat soap. Even I, with my unquenchable thirst for practical knowledge, took only a single bite. But that begs the question of how the man was poisoned, because there's no sign of any food on the table. An excellent observation, Mr. Naruhodo, and one that finishes us with that answer we seek. Felon's foul soap is researched by foul poison. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the contents of the plate. Mr. Sholmes is still pushing the soap argument then. Perhaps he's wrong person. Perhaps he's suggesting the man licked the soap rather than ate it. If soap in London is that poisonous, I don't think I would want to be washing my hands with it. There are no signs of any food in this room at all. Of course, food isn't the only thing that passes people's lips, is it? Yeah, it's pretty obvious that it's a teacup, but the contents of the plate is just soap again, isn't it? Well, you know there's a saying in Japanese, don't you? If your food is poison, you might as well eat it, plate and all. Well, there's an image. You can picture now as the victim first taking a bite of the soap, but then the plate. The soap like some tofu and the plate like a giant rice cracker. Dear, that's like a very bland combination. If the victim didn't eat the soap, then what did he eat? Yes, it's a real mystery, isn't it? Ah, I've got it. He wasn't interested in eating soap at all. It was his fork he wanted to satisfy his hunger with. Mr. Naruhodo, I really don't think it's helpful to continue with this line of reasoning that the gentleman had peculiar tastes. Suzuto sounds to gentle way with words, but I know when I've been told off. Yes, a Western vessel for the serving of infusions of dried tea leaves. It's a teacup, Mr. Naruhodo, as you well know. Stop putting on airs. And it's empty. Why are you so mean? It's just a Western vessel. Ah, so you already established that the victim was eating soap when he died. However, significant evidence suggests that he was drinking tea. My thoughts exactly.
Take that!
Alright. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by the poison that tainted the teacup. Indeed, cups have been the vessel of choice for practicing poisoners over the centuries. It would appear that this victim drank every last drop. There's no sign of food anywhere in the room. Which leads us to the immutable conclusion. The cause of death was clearly intoxication due to the ingestion of poison contained in his teacup. There you go. The cause of death identified, we proceed to Act 2. We'll be on to the next question. Was it suicide or murder? The audience will recall that the death occurred during the victim's last supper. Did the man die and die alone? The single teacups is just the answer. Ah, the Western vessel for infused hot drinks again. It's already featured heavily in our deductions so far. Yes, we can imagine that shortly before his death, Mr. Shamspeare was having a drink of tea. There would be nothing remarkable about that. But what troubles me is Mr. Natsumi's reaction when he heard Mr. Sholmes suggest it. It's more this deduction than it seems. Let's closely examine the scene of the crime again for more clues. Well, isn't this quite an oversight, huh? Isn't that crazy? it's yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh my goodness. Okay. It's another Western vessel for it's a teacup, and it's too empty. Or it too is empty. Given that he's actually holding this one in his hand, we can assume that this is the cup from which Mr. Shamsky was actually drinking. But if that's the case, it changes everything. Everything we deduced up till now is turned on its head. I have a bad feeling about this. I almost don't want to say it. Yes, I know exactly how you feel. Another teacup. It's empty. It's the only cup on the table. It would appear so, yes. And when you consider those facts, Mr. Sholmes' reasoning seems highly logical. It's always the same in these deductions. The real truth is always buried a little deeper than the great detective suggests. Mr. Naruhodo seemed very dubious of Mr. Sholmes all of a sudden. No, the soap. What kind of mobber's name is soap? The fork again. The vision just seems to be holding it so pointedly. Makes it impossible to let go of the idea that it must be involved somehow. Well, let's hope it turns out to be a useful clue in the end.
Take that!
There you go. Did the man die and die alone? The other teacups is just the answer. Yes, there were two teacups in this room all along. Ah. In other words, there's a strong indication at the victim's last supper. Bruce Fairplay? What are you doing here? There was a guest present. At the very least, we can say now with certainty. There's somebody else was here in this room last night, taking tea with the victim. What are you talking about? Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. To draw a conclusion on such meager evidence would be foolish, however. Certainly. In which case, what more can we deduce about this possible guest at the table? Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Do you mean to say, you know who exactly was in this room at the time of the victim's death? Indeed, reveals the answer, of course, is the broken lock. Not sure I like where this deduction is going now. I'm afraid it's too late to go back to the Halcyon days of eating too much soap. But the identity of the guest who was here last night, when a victim passed away, is something I have a very bad feeling about. Well, you can try to ignore your feelings, but we cannot ignore the truth, Mr. Naruhodo. No, I suppose not. Time to look around again. Oh dear, the latch is most definitely broken, isn't it? The door was kicked in by Mr. Natsumi according to what Mr. Garrett told the inspector. Who knew his short, thin little legs had so much strength in them? I'm not sure the length of his legs is in any way significant here. Perhaps this is more about the poor state of the door than about Mr. Natsumi's strength, actually. Careful. If you overheard that remark, you'd almost certainly have a lively response. I don't know. Does broken lock really tell us anything about who was here? It's empty. Empty of liquid, but full of air. It makes you think, doesn't it? It makes you think that you're full of hot air. Should be thinking about who else is in the room at the time. Bother. Tsuta-san's quip and response was cleverer than my original riddle. Even Mr. Shamster didn't need candles, it seems. We've already established that he didn't eat soap either. Ah, I think perhaps the guest brought this candle here last night. Even if he or she did, does it reveal anything about the guest's identity? Good point. There goes my idea. So I thought like that candle would be. If you sigh so deeply, Mr. Naruhodo, you're in danger of blowing out the flame. At first glance, it seems the only things in this room are the makeshift stage and their costumes. I've overlooked these 3 books initially. I wonder what they are. Let's see the titles. Or let's see. The titles read, The Picture of Monsieur Le... Hold on, I gotta make sure I read this right. The Picture of Monsieur Lecoq, Canterbury Yearnings, and Emile Fugaburo. Wait, I'm sure I've heard those titles before. Could just be an incredible coincidence, but they're the exact same 3 books that Mr. Natsumi purchased the other day. What? Yes, on the day of the unfortunate incident when Miss Green was stabbed. Seki-san had just been to a bookshop and bought them, that's right. And now those 3 titles are here in the room of the victim. There you go. And now those 3 titles are here in the room of the victim. And Mr. Natsumi claims to never to have been here. Never to have been here before. What does this mean, do you think? I really don't know what to make of it.
Take that!
Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the pile of familiar books. Quite so. It's no mere coincidence that these 3 titles are here in this room. It's the link to the truth. Mr. Natsumi, you purchased those books 4 days ago at a second-hand bookshop. That's just a coincidence. In that case, you'll be able to bring the same 2 towers from your room, will you not? This very moment. There you go. No, never. Non-negotiable. If you can't bring your own copies here, proves that these 3 books are in fact yours. Having purchased the books 4 days ago and returned to your lodgings, you were arrested the very next day. So you could conceivably have brought the books here on that evening, but you never mentioned that. In other words, you could only have brought these 3 books here to the victim's room. Doing the highlight reel. Last night, having returned to your lodgings after the trial concluded at the Old Bailey. In short, there's only one possible conclusion. The victim died here in this room last night as a result of poisoning. That same night, the victim had a visitor. That visitor was you, Mr. Saseki Natsumi. This concludes the final act of Sherlock Holmes' great deduction. That wasn't too long, wasn't too bad. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, dang, his gums are red. Oh my goodness. Not again. Not again, not again. Not again! Well then, Mr. Natsumi. It would appear you're gonna have to accompany me down to the yard. Again. But wait! Hold your horses. Yes? Door, key, locked, entry, exit, entirely impossible. So fussy is being even stranger than normal. Well, if he has an alibi, you could have just made a copy. What? You live in the same building after all. You have plenty of time. You have plenty of opportunity, I'm sure. Misery me! Sorry, sir. We'll get your chance to give you a side of the story later. The facts speak for themselves, Mr. Mustache. You horrible Sherlock Holmes. Really has found himself an arch rival now, hasn't he? Come on now, no dilly-dallying. Outside, there's a carriage waiting. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I never imagined I'd be in this position again, but you have to help me. Please. Please. I'm innocent. Alright, I understand. We'll come to your cell later and talk about it. And one more thing. Oh? Yes? My poor little kitty cat. Please give him his breakfast for me. And so, his evil curse still apparently unbroken. Saseki-san found himself once again, the prime suspect in a case of murder. Thanks to the incriminating deduction of the great detective. My dear fellows, the honor belongs to you. That is very true, yeah, no. There's no denying that. Well, at least that means Inspector Gregson is no longer here. We can examine the crime scene in more detail now. Yes, that's right. Oh, and of course. What? You've forgotten what the inspector mentioned before. It was the landlord, Mr. Garridub, who discovered Mr. Shamspear. Ah, Mr. John Garridub. Yes. I said we could find him in his sitting room at the top of the floor as usual. Right. Let's remember to go talk to him later then. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, Mr. Alright, let's do it. She had a rock. This is some sort of makeshift. Excuse me, wow, I did not mean to come out like that. Some sort of Ron Harper. Some sort of makeshift stage, I think, isn't it? Where's the audience set, though? For the nightly Shakespeare performances. Did that actually Shakespeare? Yeah, okay. Actors aspiring to the great stage must practice their art, Mr. Naruhodo, with or without an audience. In fact, on a related note, perhaps you should set up a mock bench for the defense of your office. What? You could practice your art every single day. Oh, that's sweet. I'll think about it. If you promise to don a beard and play the role of a judge. Well, if that would help you achieve your goal. This I have to see. It's a gas well light, isn't it? Must be connected to a gas pipe in the wall. Gas lights, a gas stove. And there really is a city of gas. Soon to be electricity. Now I think about it, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett have had an open fire on the top floor, didn't they? Oh yes, you're right. I recall seeing a gas stove up there. Well, I much prefer a real fire anyway. So much cozier. And here we have another disproportionately large machine. This looks like some meter, a meter of some kind. Ah, this is a gas meter, I think. Seems that in this district, residents pay for gas as they use it with coins. Ah, I see. Yes, now that you pointed it out, you can see that there's a slot just here that looks like it would take a coin. So you mean, if you put a coin in here, that's right, that would buy you about 2 hours of gas for lights and heating. So, if you're a poor person with no money, you have to sleep in the freezing cold. Yes, if you were a scatterbrain with no change because you forgot to exchange your money at the bank. Thank goodness there's no meter in our office. That sounds crazy. Having to have a meter, like similar to like a parking meter for your house for gas. Like, let's see if that was actually existed. Crazy, man. The more you know. This game really teaches you a lot. A lot. What's this? Looks like a part of an envelope, I think. Yes, I think you may be right. Perhaps it was torn off when the letter was opened. Is that significant? Oh, it's a little place, perhaps. When you look around the room, there's no sign of a letter. Or the rest of the envelope, in fact, is there? Ah, she's right. And yet here we are, and yet here we have a torn off end of an envelope. Just strikes me as unusual. I agree. Better take this just in case. Torn off end of envelope was entered into the court record. Ripped piece of an envelope that was found in Mr. Shakespeare's room. Oh, excuse me. The rest of the envelope cannot be located. Look at these extravagant, bright costumes. Somehow they look out of place in this room, with its grim, shady goings-on. This looks like a king's attire. A king? I always dreamt of being a king. Oh, I think he'd be more suited to be a feudal lord, a daimyo or such like. With a chonmage top knot, every Japanese man wishes he had a chonmage. We look wonderful with one. You already have the sword. Can you imagine what would happen if I walked around the streets of London with a chonmage and a sword? Yeah, you'd be a vagrant. Let me see just to make sure I understand. It's the weirdest thing because, like, you have this crazy amount of hair in the back for the hairstyle, but you shave the head bald. Why do people do that? Yeah, I gotta look up why it's that like that. Top knot hairstyle. Yep. I guess for practicality, huh? Oh, apparently it was banned. Oh, never mind. Oh. Yeah, it was banned, but then it went out of style, so it doesn't matter anymore. Because granted, you know, it's, whoa. Yeah, no, it's a different time period because of the fact that, like, you know, this was, feudal Japan in the 20th century. Excuse me, 19th century. So, it makes sense. Okay. Just had to look that up real quick, I was interested. So much on these shelves, is there? This is wine glass and bottle. And both of them are cracked. Yes, not much use, are they? What's the matter? Oh, I was just reminded of the Reaper. That's all. Prosecutor Lord Van Zeeks. Yes, he's so reckless with his wine glasses. I was thinking it's a waste and that he should donate some to the needy. You can suggest the next time we meet. Yeah, no. Oh, the poor man. So young to die. Actually, I had the core record I can see. 31? That was an old head. That's crazy. Yeah, okay. So, 16, 10, 34, 20. An art school student whose ambition is to become an artist. She's just regained consciousness, having been comatose for days after suffering a stab wound to the back. We have Soseki, Japanese scholar sent to London to further his research in the English language. He's just been acquitted of a very serious crime, but now finds himself accused of another. Tobias Gregson, the detective inspector in charge of Scotland Yard's investigation of the case. He's stern and single-minded in his approach, and a great lover of fish and chips. William Shakespeare, the victim of the current case, a failed actor renting a room in the same building as Mr. Natsumi's lodgings. Do you suppose it was a very painful death, being poisoned as he was? I don't know. All I can do now is hope that he'll be reborn to a better life. Yes, I suppose you're right. I wonder. I think that putting our hands together in a Japanese prayer will help a British soul. Sorry? I made sure I had a reference at the ready for just such an occasion as this, actually. This book is entitled The Beginner's Guide to Praying for the Departed, the British Way. I'll just reread it now. One moment. There's quite a spine on the book, isn't there? As you see from the outside, the window's completely bricked up. Oh, I bet it is. A vestige of the former window tax that Britons had to pay. What a strange things they used to tax in Great Britain. I mean, making people pay for the number of windows they had in a property? It's extraordinary. It's heartbreaking to think of the poor having to block up their windows just to avoid an unaffordable tax. Oh. What is it, Miss Suzuto? If you look closely, a number of bricks are loose. Oh yes, it looks as though an amateur has broken out a few of them just here. Was it Mr. Shampsby who did it, I wonder? Being the lodger renting his room. Oh, look at this, Mr. Naruhodo. On the outside, there's a little ledge. And there's something on it. What? Outside? Ugh, it's cold outside. You really feel it through the gap. It did snow all last night. It would be cold. More importantly, what is it on the ledge out there? What are those snow-covered lumps? It's more bars of soap. Soap? What bars of soap doing lined up on the ledge outside the window? I have no idea. But the pair of them look rather charming like that. Still, it's very strange, isn't it? Bars of soap lined up outside the window. Then perhaps we should take one. There are two after all. Oh dear. I suppose we could. Oh, what's this? Look here at the soap. Ah. Do you see? In the middle here, there's a patch that's a different color. It's so transparent, but some sort of fancy design, I suppose. Only in Great Britain. Looks like the Hinamaru flag of Japan, doesn't it? How wonderful. Probably a very expensive brand. Expensive? Then what's it doing in this ramshackle old room? Bar of soap has been entered into the court record. Yeah. From last case. Alright. Whoever opened this envelope didn't bother with a letter opener or scissors, did they? Yes, whoever opened it was clearly someone with an unrefined temperament. And judging from the angle of the rip here, the person in question must have been right-handed. Miss Suzuto? I think perhaps someone's been reading too much of the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. You can never read too much of a Mr. Naruhodo. Never! Alright, a cheap bar of soap that was discovered just outside of Mr. Shampspeare's window. It's one of two that were found here. This part's a different color. It's an exquisite design, isn't it? Just the British to turn a boring bar of soap into something special. I quite like it. Reminds me of the Hinamaru design of the Japanese flag. But this is rather expensive soap. Doesn't seem likely, given who it belongs to. Well, I mean, I think I explored everything here. Nope, I already read this. Yeah, I think that's everything. So for now, let's go here. So where poor Miss Green was struck down. No relief that she's gonna be alright. The scene of the stabbing of Miss Olive Green. It's a fairly wide street that easily accommodates carriages lined on both sides by tall brick townhouses. 21st of February, Fire Road. With the exception of the top floor, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett had lived. All the windows were bricked up. There you go. Yes, as if an old window tax that was charged on a number of windows the property had. In order to pay less tax, the poor members of society filled in many other windows. But the tax has been abolished, hasn't it? So the windows could all be opened up again, surely? Fortunately, it would appear that the residents of this district can't afford to pay to have the work done. Yes, it's a sad state of affairs. Especially for the people like poor Mr. Natsumi, who have to live all cooped up in a windowless room. I suppose that's the price you pay for living in a very cheap accommodation. It all seems rather pointless when you put it like that. The Garrett household and Mr. Natsumi's lodgings are in a prominent position there on the corner. Sometimes when I look at the building, I can't help feeling like it's a bit of a slant. It does look, excuse me, wow. It does sort of look as though it would collapse even in the smallest earthquake, doesn't it? It's even supposed to be haunted. Isn't it supposed to be haunted as well? I think I might have a hunch as to why Saseki-san is the hunchback. There seems to be a bicycle outside the Garrett residence. I read that the bicycles are extremely popular over Great Britain at the moment, in fact. One seems very, warped though, especially the front wheel. Is that to make it more of a challenge to ride, do you think? No, I'm afraid that may be a result of the rider's incompetence. For the front wheel to be so badly warped, I'm afraid the rider may have been similarly afflicted. Then, there's a good chance Mr. Natsumi has been practicing on his bicycle, I think. Oh dear. But you may be right. London's blanketed in fog again today. The sky is covered in cloud. If you look carefully in the distance, you just make out the Crystal Tower being built. Ah, the Crystal Tower, yes. The centerpiece of the great exhibition that's to open in 6 months' time. Everyone's talking about the great exhibition of London at the moment, it seems. Well, it's to be the largest event of its kind anywhere in the world, with technology and scientists from all over. I can't wait for it myself. I think visiting students from the Far East like us will be granted entry. The last great exhibition that was held in London had more than 6 million visitors, it seems. And this time, the British are determined to make it an even bigger success, to outdo the Paris Exposition. Oh. I see. It's an incredible number of people. With so many people expected to attend, she'll easily be able to slip it unnoticed. It's always the honest approach of buying tickets at the main entrance, Mr. Naruhodo. tower. Yeah, there's really nothing here except just a snowman. That's funny. Why somebody built a snowman on some sort of pedestal, do you think? That's not a pedestal, Mr. Naruhodo. It's part of the snowman's body. Really? Brody has a perfectly good body. Well, it's true that the British snowmen are usually made with 2 snowballs of snow. Perhaps this is a foreigner. And are looking at him as if he's strange. Poor man. I know how he feels. If anything, it's Japanese and British 2-ball snowmen that are the strange ones, isn't it? After all, real people do have 3 sections: head, torso, and legs. Ever think that perhaps you think about things too much? There you go. Dina, I don't believe we visited this place for some time. The suite on the top floor of the house where Mr. Nasumi has his lodgings, occupied by the landlord, Mr. Garrett, and his wife. The window looks out over Briar Road. He's going to be happy to see us, considering we just convicted his wife. 21st of February, the Garrett's room. There you go. So give me 1 second. There you go. Alright. Okay. Here we are again. The eccentric landlord's eccentric top floor abode. And the quarter is still burnt. We're here because Mr. Garrett, the one who discovered the incident this morning. We're here because Mr. Garrett's the one who discovered the incident this morning, don't forget. Ah, you chop, sir? Yes, good morning, sir. Thank you for your cooperation in court yesterday. It's quite a trial. As much for Mr. Garrett as anyone, really. Came straight back here after all that business at the Bailey yesterday. Didn't expect to wake up to more bally nonsense this morning. I wonder, if you don't mind telling us exactly what happened, Mr. Garrett. Yes, I suppose you'd like to know all about that dead loss of an octa chap in the ground floor room. Those are exactly Inspector Gregson's words, weren't they? Haha, look at that! He has an animation! Look at that! Mr. Garrett, bro, he looks like Syndicate. So funny. Mr. Garrett, what a chap. What a chap. Oh, copy of Rance magazine. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes is being read all over London. Isn't it wonderful? Naturally, one asks herself if such a singular detective could really exist. I'm being called away. Oh, give me 1 second. Donnie, how you feel? I feel great. Alrighty. Anyway, yeah, okay. After the stream, I am definitely going to eat. I have not eaten anything in a bit. So we gotta fix that. But having met the chap, it's undeniable. He's most certainly singular. Singularly dangerous. That's genuine public opinion for you, Mr. Susan. Perhaps it should be reflected on the story or in the stories. Make no mistake, Mr. Naruto. I answer to snuff out the sort of public opinion we just heard personally. I'm trying to see where Mr. Sholmes' untainted reputation comes from now. There's a single apron drying on that enormous cannon-shaped clothes horse. Look. No, Mr. Naruhodo. That's a real cannon. I knew that. I was just testing you. Piece of history, that is. Seen plenty of action on the battlefield, I can tell you. Now that all going on, enjoying peace and quiet, a retirement together. And he's not talking about that. He's not talking about his wife. And of course, she come in handy if the enemy decides to launch an attack. Launch an attack again. Is there a war going on that I don't know about? There's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. I didn't know that was from Mobb Deep. That's actually interesting. I listened to that song to hear it fully. I never listened to Survival of the Fittest. I listened to Shook once, but everybody has, so it makes sense. Spotify. There's a world going on outside, no man is safe from. Shook ones. It's always interesting going to Spotify pages for artists because, like, I don't use Spotify, I use YouTube Music. Just keeping the interconnectivity of what's it called, of having YouTube Premium and then having, you know, YouTube Music. It just makes sense to me. But I haven't checked like Spotify listening things in a long time because that's where most people listen to music. You know, it makes sense. And like Shook Ones Part 2 almost has a billion streams, so that's crazy. It makes sense though. You know, it's a popular song. Let me see. Kenny Mason, Dance Now, Stick. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's see, Angelica Rap. There's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. It's a military uniform, isn't it, Mr. Garrett? Well, ceremonial garb, yes. But hanging on the wall ever since my time at Bosch. Not active service now, you know. Doesn't mean much to me anymore. You could have the whole thing if you wanted it. Well, might see Lord Van Zeeks, perhaps. An overly ostentatious outfit like this could be just what he needs. Very tactful, Miss Suzuta. Very tactful indeed. She does not like him at all. She does not like him. Just you wait, Suzuto. Just you wait. You'll find out. Mr. John Garrett, a retired army man who's the landlord of lodgings rented by Mr. Natsumi. No knee injury means he's confined to a chair most of the time. What kind of muppet's name is John Garrett? Anyway. Garrett trusted you. I trusted you. So why the hell do you know Van Zeeks? Ah yes, the enormous mortar shells. It's quite something seeing them up close, isn't it? Didn't you say something about firing them into the barracks, Mr. Garrett? Ah, you remember, do you? There's a little mishap that occurred during training one day. What are you doing fighting your own men? The captain bellowed at me. Not surprised, a little mishap doesn't really do it justice, does it? Well, one has this little incident when one's a hot-headed young private. Perhaps I should put some evidence that resulted from one of my little mishaps on display. Oh, just the great lawyer, just like the great detective, wants to exhibit some trophies of his finest moments. You're gonna see Mr. Garrett's Medal of Honor so probably displayed on the wall. The inscription reads, for distinguished participation, if you remember. Yes, I remember. So I remember thinking even I might stand a chance of picking up honors like that. Wouldn't know it to look at me now, perhaps, but I have my devil-may-care days, you know? Devil-may-care? Devil-may-cry. What'd you get up to? Well, all in the past now, of course. And best up there. Best now? I want to know now. It was a dog. It was a real canine, huh? You're very dashing in the uniform there, Mr. Garrett. Ah, that old boy today, drawn by an Austrian who used to rent the room downstairs. Oh, you look so wonderfully young and courageous and strong. Yes, well, the chap presented it to me one day and asked if he'd let him off the month's rent in return. Oh, I see. So, you did, presumably. Bollywood did not. Oh. A portrait is a portrait, but rent is rent. Eh? And yet it's still there, probably on the wall. That's That's, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty insane. That's crazy. But not just like he didn't do it. I don't think he even asked in the first place, can you let me off a rent if I give you this, please? No, are you crazy? You know what that screen is hiding now? The aftermath of the fiery altercation the other day. I suppose I'll be able to clear that mess up for some time now. Oh dear, it's a very difficult situation for you. I'll say, people talk about twist of fate and whatnot. Where's the twist and a half? I'll write a show all around. He's clearly struggling with everything that's happened. But yeah, his wife is going to jail. Even if it was by accident. The shells look like they've been completely torn apart by a wild beast. Might as well the bottle of my one, don't you know? The experiences of a seasoned war veteran. Enemy had us surrounded on all sides. We thought we were done for. The whole body company. They were taking a real punishment from their cannons. So all we could do was run for our lives. I thought the story was going in a different direction, actually. Well, the whole experience taught me one thing, I can tell you. What you're done for, you're really done for. It's not a lawyer who often finds himself under fire wants to hear. It's a impressive collection of cakes on that fancy silver cake stand there. I feel sure that it was full of cakes when we first investigated here as well. Yes, quite right. Haven't touched the suits. Oh, excuse me. Haven't done much at all, really, since it happened. Time stood rather still for me, you know. Oh. Time has stood still. That's an interesting phrase. I'll be able to use that excuse when I'm next supposed to be tidying the office. You just tidy up, Mr. Naruhodo. Also a horrible thing to say about a man who just lost his wife to what's it called? The Old Bailey. She's not dead. She's not dead. But man, is it not a good sign? It's a good view over the wintry East End from up here. It's an impressively great sheen. There's really nothing comparable in Japan. And down below, Briar Road, probably blanketed in snow. And the pavement where poor Miss Green was stuck in the back by that knife. Thinking about it, there's the only room in this building that actually has a window to the outside world. Sometimes, Great Britain really does seem like a strange land, doesn't it? I suppose all foreign cultures seem strange at first. But how an Englishman would feel on arriving in Japan and seeing people with a shonmage top knot. Well, that's a good point. I think that's everything. It's what exists in it. Was it a real shock for you this morning? Yeah, that you discovered what had happened. Well, that hopeless actor chap rises at 5 o'clock sharp every morning without fail. But at 5:30 this morning, he still hadn't lit the gas. So I went down and knocked on his door, but nobody answered. That's when you broke into his room by kicking down the door. Well, I called on the rum-looking Japanese chap to do the grunt work, of course. Wasn't it a little premature to kick the door down when the man could have just overslept by half an hour? It's very true, Mr. Naruhodo. 30 minutes oversleeping warrants such behavior. I kick your door down every morning. Well, you know, better to be safe than sorry and all that. Just weird. See you putting her case all of a sudden. Thought that it was a sorry situation indeed that you found on the other side of the door. The victim's name was Mr. Shaftesbury, I believe. Is that right? Yes, William Shakespeare took the ground floor room 3 months ago now. And how would you describe him? In a word, destitute. Destitute. Well, let's face it, the only redeeming feature of that room is the cheap rent. Anyone wanting to live in a place like that is either broke or has a boy screw loose. It's hard to choose which category Sasaki-san would fall into. Mr. Naruhodo, that's a little rude. He was doing research as well. Research? Into what? Shakespeare, of course. Shakespeare. Read a few plays and old bomb myself, you know. Or read a few plays. Romeo and Hamlet and all that. Yes, William Shakespeare is England's most highly regarded classical playwright and author. He's on a sao in Japanese, as you know, and many of his works have already been translated. It seems incredible that Shakespeare was showing a sao, though. Someone was too heavy-handed there. There was a lot of costumes in the victim's room, actually, weren't there? Of course, Mr. Natsumi... Mr. Natsumi is a scholar of the English literature as well. Imagine he and Mr. Shakespeare would have had much in common. Shakespeare interpretation disagreement leads to shocking murder. Let's hope it's not that. Mr. Naruhodo, really? How rude! Yesterday's events. After Mr. Natsumi's trial yesterday, you came straight back here, I believe, didn't you? Did you notice anything strange between tonight and this morning? Well now, must have been about 6 in the evening by the time I got home. Snow was coming down really heavily, as I remember. It was completely dark already. I felt like the chap was out at the time. Mr. Garrett noticed there was no light from his room or something, I suppose. Couldn't summon energy for anything much, so I just sat in front of the fire up here. It was after 8 before Shakespeare got back, and the chap was up until past 1 in the morning, if you know. Suppose he made his end sometime after that. I was asleep by then, so I'm rather in the dark there. Well, thank you. That was very illuminating. Oh, excuse me. Is anything alright, Miss Suzuta? Although I was just thinking it's a little strange, that's all. Mr. Garrett, you're up here in your room all evening, if I understood correctly. And the big front of stairs, now with this blasted leg. Then, how is it that you seem to know? The precise movements of your tenant on the ground floor, I mean. Oh! That's a very good point. I can imagine if you could hear noises from the ground floor all the way up here. There's no man like to spy on his tenants, is that it? I say, I know what you're thinking is a bully outrage. I'm ex-military, don't you know? I won't go spying around on my tenants. What would I? Then how did you know, Mr. Garrett? It's the gas, woman. The gas tells me everything. The gas? Speaking gas? What on earth do you mean, sir? How can a gas tell you anything, let alone everything? Well, as you're probably aware, the gas is supplied to the building by pipes. Yeah, some more or less work that out. Every room in the building is connected by a single pipe to the gas main outside. And the gas company supplies gas to properties via the main. Yes, I understand that too. Let me see if I can explain. Let's say I was to light the gas lamps up here. What do you suppose will happen? Well, obviously the room would get brighter. Exactly, but at the same time, the lights in all the other rooms of the house would dim for a moment. What? They dim? Why? Perhaps it's because we light a gas lamp, it briefly uses more gas than usual. That reduces the amount of gas in the pipe for the other lamps that are connected to it. I'll explain why the other lamps dim momentarily. Mightn't it? Yes, of course. So everything's connected to a single supply pipe. That's supposed to happen now? Sounds like they're undesirable. Jolly good point. Fact is, the gas company pipes in these parts are pretty hopeless. Long worn out. They barely got any gas in them to start with. Opposite's also true, of course. Extinguish the lamps up here and they glow brighter in the rest of the house. Alright, I see. So by watching the flickering of the lamps in one room, you can determine what's happening elsewhere. You got it. Oh, of course. Because when people come back home in the evening before they go to sleep at night, what they're guaranteed to do is either light or put out their lamps and fires. Clever. Very clever. In point of fact, the room on the ground floor and the one above it use slightly different amounts of gas. While watching the lights in here closely, I can work out almost exactly what's going on in the whole house. Gosh, that's fascinating, Mr. Garrett. That's really fascinating. Oh well, nothing to it really. There you go. Live in LARP, bro. What? There you go. I can't really see that's. I can't really see that it's going to help us with the case either. What I'd like to know is why Mr. Garrett was so interested in what his tenants are up to in the first place. I feel like there's more to it than out of curiosity. But that's it though. That's all he has to offer, and all he has to say. It's always nice talking to Mr. Garrett. Always liked him. He's a cool character. A real cool cat. Alright. Okay. Yeah. All there's to do now is just go to the prison. Prison cell where the defendant, Mr. Seki Natsumi, is being held. Spending so much time in it, he'll have to start calling the place home soon. That is crazy. Oh dear me. Seems there still must be questioning poor Mr. Natsumi. "21st of February, local prison, cell 9. Brother man, there's nobody here. What? Okay, maybe I just went too early. I guess I must have missed something or other. Let's see. There's a teacup. Of course, there's the teacup. Oh my gosh. Oh, one of the teacups that Mr. Shakespeare and his guests drank from last night. I'll go drinking from them, Mr. Naruhodo. There's a bit of poison inside. I'm planning on drinking any, don't worry. Anyway, the cups are both empty. That's true. So one was Mr. Shakespeare's, and the other must be the cup that Mr. Natsumi was drinking from. But Seki-san wasn't poisoned, of course. Perhaps we should take these so we can examine them in more detail later. There you go. Tikas have been entered into the court record. Tikas used by Mr. Shakespeare and Mr. Ashur. A green line around the rim was Mr. Natsumi's. Looks like you're having a good time snooping around it. Inspector Gregson, I bet back so soon. After I do that little Japanese fellow in the clink, I want to report into this investigation division. In 5 minutes time, this place will be cordoned off by the yard. Oh, I see. Well, we better be leaving then. And so soon, was he feeling very well, being back in the cell again so soon. I'm sure we should probably go. What's wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Kia! Out, brief candle, lies but the walking shadow of a play. That struts and frets his hour upon the stage. There is heard, and then is heard no more. Now, how soundeth the next part? It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Indeed! Oh, happy day! Yo, oh, this game is too funny. Oh my goodness. Why would you let it fall like that? Oh, that's so funny, bro. Whoa. Walking Dead! No, the fellow isn't dead at all. What's that nonsense he was saying, though? I think, yes, Mr. William Shakespeare's Macbeth. A soliloquy from Act 5, Scene 5. Shakespeare. So it was that the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, came back to life. The man had indeed been poisoned. It transpired that it hadn't killed him. He was taken by emergency carriage to a nearby hospital for treatment. Then Inspector Gregson evicted us from the scene of the crime, whatever that now was. Oh, those words are still going. Wow. Whatever do you think will happen now? Good question. What a strange situation for Mr. Natsumi, arrested for murder, and then the victim comes back to life. I think perhaps the victim was never dead in the first place. Seems very likely that Mr. Shakespeare did consume poison, as we deduced. But was it an accident, attempted suicide, or an attempted murder? Until the truth can be established, I imagine the police will keep Mr. Natsumi in custody. I suppose so. So it doesn't come to anything more than a night in the cells. A night in the clink. Oh, what's this? What's that man doing over there? Looks like he's trying to see if Seki-san's lodgings. Something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo. Excuse me. Can we have a word? He just ran off. I feel sure that I've seen that man somewhere before. Where was it? I know too, but I don't remember. Well, we'll do as much of us investigating as we can. Or investigating here as we can, I think. Perhaps we ought to go to the prison and speak with Natsumi again. Mr. Natsumi. A good idea. Love this song so much. Oh my goodness. There you go. Alright, how much time do we have now? We've been going for 2 hours and 35 minutes. And how does that compare to the other streams so far? 2 hours and 28, 3 hours. And then before that, 3 hours, almost 4 hours, almost 4 hours, 2.5, 3.5, 2 hours, 3.5, 7 hours. Okay. So it'll be pretty in line if I ended it here. But, I don't know how long the investigation is supposed to go on for. Because it still definitely seems like we have a lot to do. It feels like case 4 over again, probably enough. Oh, hey, okay, hold on, wait a second, we can go. We can go now, I gotta check this out actually. 21st of February, Naruhodo's EU Consultancy. What's it do? Saseki-san is so terribly unlucky, isn't he? You can say that again. Suspected of 2 different murders in 2 days. I've never known anybody to be so badly in the wrong place at the wrong time so many times. I have. And I'm looking at him right now. You know, I didn't really consider it much before. I think you might be right. I haven't been quite unlucky in that respect, haven't I? Am I cursed? Oh no, Mr. Naruhodo-san. I'm sure you're overthinking it. Is that really the only thing you can investigate here? It's just so mean-spirited, or like, you come here just for the spade. Perhaps we should put this spade away somewhere. That's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. The same conversation. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? You're so right now, Naruhodo-san. Let's not quarrel over such trifles. On reflection, then, I think I'll leave the spade where it is. Yes, I think that's for the best. We may need a shovel when we're working in the garden. Dang, there's nothing, not a damn thing. Legit, it really feels like this. You're only here to do this. You're only here for the spade. Oh, I guess the room. There is another room behind the door. Yes, so I bet you Naruhodo-san will see my map. Shall I help you unpack your things? It's very kind, but no thank you. The luggage looks very heavy. Are you sure I can't help you move it? It's very kind, but really, no thank you. My young maiden's private chambers is a place of bittersweet secrets here. The only secret I have is the 5 yen banknote hidden in the backside of my Daruma doll. These tanks are for keeping sea creatures. They're called aquariums and they were all the rage in London at one time apparently. Yes, the English are so clever, coming up with the idea of having ocean life on display at home. And it means you always have an emergency midnight feast on hand. You're crazy, I'm not eating the sea anemone. Anemone, there you go. I'm sure that's really the idea. There you go. Alright, 21st of February, local prison, cell 9. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Natsumi, had the police finished questioning you now? Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. Yes? What is he? Tell me. Is he a ghost? Is he here to haunt me? Let me guess. Talking about Mr. Sharms. He actually calls himself a great detective, Mr. Natsumi, not a ghost. But there's diabolic deductions that are of this world. They've left me. Cursed. I'm cursed, I tell you. Well, I'm sorry, unless it hurts. Credit where credit is due, Mr. Naruhodo. You were heavily involved in abduction too. Moving on, we have some wonderful news. Oh? The victim that we all thought was dead has come back to life again. Now in the absolutely worst case, you can only be tried for attempted murder. That's right, isn't it? Tsunatsumi? It's terrible! Oh? I'm stuck in a cell, suffering for some silly, wrong end of the stick! You did it, didn't you? Confess, you're the killer. Why the mustache? Constant questions! I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, that selfish shyster! Make up your mind. Are you dead or alive? If you're gonna come back to life, why bother dying? Look at me wishy-washy William! Well, it seems likely that Mr. Shamsphere was never actually dead in the first place. Ah, yes. That might make sense. Now please say he's alive, of course. Our lively debate last night was so much fun. We sad to think it was our last. Oh. Oops. Tsunatsumi. Does this mean that you did see the victim last night? Mr. Shamsphere, didn't you? I'm not saying another word, and I'm gonna have a lawyer present. Who do you think I am? Please, Mr. Natsumi. We need to hear from your side of the story. Why am I cursed like this? There you go. Converse. What happened? Can you tell us exactly what happened last night then, Mr. Natsumi? There's nothing to tell! But, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, I'm eternally grateful to you for helping me with that accursed case yesterday. The case that saw poor Miss Green hospitalized as she ended up with a knife in her back. Hard to believe that was only yesterday. After the trial was over, I trudged my weary way back to my lovely lodgings. That evening, at past 9, it must have been. Sorry. I visited Mr. Shamsphere. So, did you go to the victim's room then? As we feared. I didn't do anything wrong. Never been to his room before. It's the first time. What made you decide to go? I bumped into him when I arrived back at the house. We got chatting and it developed in a discussion. But he had to go out, so I bade him farewell. At times when Mr. Garrett said, the victim went out and came back after 8. We met again later that evening. At around 9 or just after, when I took him some nice tea I brewed as a gift. So it was you who brought the tea that had been clearly drunk at the scene then. I suppose you were discussing the works of Shakespeare, were you? Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. Romeo and Juliet. Who was the stronger? It was a delightful debate. I'm sure. Such a stimulating subject. Shakespeare! He's so eccentric. He really is. And this debate became very heated, so you slipped poison into Mr. Shamsphere's tea. No! Never! Not at all! No! Team Juliet won. That was me. When I left his room, the flamboyant fellow was fighting fit. I swear it. Categorically. Mr. Natsumi, you often say the same thing about yourself, I noticed. That you have a cursed existence. I'm sure I mentioned this to you before, but I've been here in Great Britain for a year now, and in that time, I've learned that this is no place for me. It can be very trying to live in a foreign land and adapt to the ways of another culture. There are foreigners everywhere I look. And they all stare at me. They all laugh. That's not the impression I get whenever I go out. Makes me scared to leave my room. Which is why I've become a recluse. But even in my room, I find a respite from my fears. I moved more times than I can remember. And 1 week ago, I moved into Briar Road. But why? I mean, why'd you choose that place? Does it seem very comfortable? Because the rent is cheap. That's the little money. It spoke to me. The rent. Obviously, there is a reason why it's cheap. Because the room is cursed. Cursed? Cursed how? The previous occupant, the man who lived there before I took the room, died there. Oh no. He's only a young man. One morning he was found dead and no one could explain why. Surely no one would want to live in a room with a history like that. I didn't. When letting the agent recommend a place, I wavered. But I want books, and books cost money. Horrible history is a small price to pay. When I realized it would mean I could buy more books, I signed the lease like lightning. Brave. Or blinkered. After I moved in, I was beginning to realize what I'd done. I just realized how horrible that room's history really was. Gosh, it's really that awful? How did room's horrible history affect you, Mr. Natsumi? What happened? At first, it was just a feeling of beady eyes boring into my back, watching me. You think that might just be your mind playing tricks on you? No. My mind doesn't know any tricks. It was someone else. It's been one long nightmare ever since I was given the keys to the place. A nightmare? You're having bad dreams, you mean? All the souls who died in that room, they leaned over me in my sleep, trying to strangle me. That really is horrible. And now I come to think of it, happened again last night too. The very same night that Mr. Shakespeare was writhing in agony from the poison in his body. I was on the verge of being suffocated silently by those miserable spirits in my room. We must move out of the room as soon as possible. Yes, you're right. I know it. That's why. I'm already searching for the next room with a history to call home. I think perhaps you should try to avoid accommodation with any kind of history at all. Otherwise, I'm scared that you yourself may become history. Oof. Suzuta-san knows how to make the man listen. Of course, Mr. Lord of the Manor is worried about the curse on my room as well. You're Mr. Garrett. Yes, he knows that if people keep dying there, never be able to rent it out again. Well, that's true. I, for one, wouldn't go near the place. Ah, perhaps. That may explain why the landlord pays so much attention to the gas lamps and his tenants' movements. You mean, because he's worried about their well-being? They seem to have an unusually keen interest in the amount of gas in the pipes. I don't see a reason why he keeps such close tabs on the occupants of his let rooms. What do you mean he pays so much attention to the gas lamps? Oh dear, no. Nothing to do with you, Mr. Natsumi. Please, forget I said anything. Oh, now you're talking about me behind my back as well. What's important is that Mr. Shakespeare isn't in fact dead at all. Once he comes around and he'll be able to tell us what happened, we'll be able to get you released. Yes, please. Oh, I do hope you're right. Excuse me. Inspector Gregson. Get up over here what you just said. On that note, I have some good news and some bad news. Oh? What you want first? Oh, they always do this. Always, every time, the bad news comes first. When hope is all you have, hold on to it. That's my guiding principle. Well, in that case, the good news it is. Huh? Sorry, but it's just a lot easier to explain everything that way. Why didn't you ask my preference? As you might have heard, the victim, Mr. Shakespeare, was just unconscious. He's come around now. Yes, we saw it happen in all his terrifying glory. He's still being treated by doctors, but I managed to get a written statement from him already. Oh, isn't that wonderful, Mr. Natsumi? Oh, thank goodness. It's all over then. I can leave this somber cell. Sorry, no. It's not on the cards. What? Why not, Inspector? Mr. Shakespeare has implicated someone as being responsible for what happened last night. Implicated someone? Oh dear. You don't mean... I'm sorry to say I do, yes. He's pointing the finger at you, Mr. Natsumi. By sweet poison that he seeketh to end my life. Thou wickedest, Kaito, Sasaki Natsumi. Oh. So I'm afraid you'll be appearing in court as planned. You'll be wanting to make your necessary preparations. No! And so, once again, Suzuki-san found himself having to take the dock in New York Bailey. Whether his room was haunted or whether he was just terribly unlucky, I knew I had no choice. The following day, I would represent him in court, do the utmost to break the curse that blighted him. There you go. Alright, all I had to do was just go a little bit further. Just a little bit further. Which, glad I'm trusting my gut. I felt like it was gonna end soon once we got to Natsumi. Dun dun. Alright, Memories of the Clouded Kokoro. Oh wow, we're just at the trial now, okay. Never mind. Thought we were gonna be a little bit longer, but no, we ball. We ball. Surprised that it was this fast. Then again, this is case 2, so it's not meant to be a long case. Dun 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 dun. There you go. Alrighty, everybody. So that'll do it for now. Almost 3 hours. Pretty decent stream. Hope you guys enjoy it. Don't know when I'll stream this game next, but hopefully it should be soon. If not, in the span of a week, at least. Let's know with this game, this next video though, it should be good, but we'll see. Anyways, yeah, until next time, hope you have a good rest of your day. I'll see you all later.